Okay, so today we're going to continue our discussion of ellipses. This is section 7.4. We'll continue talking about ellipses today. I have a couple problems to go over. First example looks like this. We'll find all the components of an ellipse whose equation is x squared plus 9y squared minus 4x plus 54y plus 49 is equal to 0. So just like a circle, let's get our x's together. We could factor out the leading coefficient. So in this case it's 1. In this case it's 9. And really it's just the same thing that we've always done. Take half of the middle and square it. Take half of the middle and square it. You're going to multiply that new number by the number in front and then subtract it. Multiply by the number in front and then we're going to subtract it. So let's clean things up a little bit. We just have 1 times x minus 2 squared plus 9 times y plus 3 squared. And that's going to equal, that's negative 36. Well, let me see. What did I do? 9, 4 times 1 is 4, so I agree with that. 9 times 9, I was thinking something else. 9 times 9, of course, is 81, so we'll subtract 81 here. And if you combine all those numbers together, negative 85 plus 49 is negative 36. But we'll have to bring that on the other side, so that just turns into 36. And in last night's homework, we saw that we want this to equal 1, so we'll just divide by 36. We get x minus 2 squared over 36 plus y plus 3 squared over 4 would equal 1. The bigger numbers are a squared. Smaller numbers are b squared. So we know a is 6. We know that b is 2. It's horizontal because the bigger number is underneath the x. Now let's find our components here. So our center would be 2 comma negative 3. The length of the major axis would be 2 times a units. The endpoints of the major, because it goes horizontal, you would take your center, but you would add or subtract the a value to the x. The length of the minor axis would be 2 times b, or 4 units. The endpoints of the minor would be 2 comma negative 3, but because we're going up and down, you would add and subtract 2 to the y value. And then the last part are our foci, which are always tied with the major axis. We're always on the major axis. And we would take our center, 2, negative 3. And because we add and subtract for the major to the x, we're going to add and subtract to the x for the foci. Just have to figure out what that value is. Square root of 32, you see that's 16 and 4. 16 is 4 and 4. So c would be 4 root 2. We're going to be adding and subtracting that to the x value. All right, we'll do one more like this. And let's say it's 16y squared plus 9x squared minus 96y plus 90x equals negative 225. So we'll group our x's together. We'll group our y's together. We'll factor out the leading coefficient. All right, and 96 divided by 16. I'm not sure. Let's see here. So 96 divided by 16 is 6. Alright, so half of negative 6 squared is 9. So 3 squared is 9. Half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25. 25 times 9 is 225, so we're going to subtract 225. 9 times 16 is 144, so we're going to subtract 144. And then we'll bring those numbers on the other side. So really what we get is 9 times x plus 5 squared plus 16 times y minus 3 squared is equal to 144. These would cancel and the 144 comes over. We could divide everything by 144. And this would be x plus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared. And 144 divided by 16, this would be 9, this would be 16. The bigger number is a squared. So let's see here. We're going to have to find the foci, which would be a squared minus b squared. So c squared would be 16 minus 9. So c would be the square root of 7. And let's go through what we did before. The center would be negative 5, 3. The length of the major axis, remember it's horizontal because the bigger number is underneath x. The length of the major would be 2 times a, or 8 units, because a is 4. The endpoints of the major, we know that this is a horizontal ellipse. The endpoints of the major, we're going left and right. So we're going to do negative 5 plus or minus 4, 3. We'll talk about the length of the minor axis. Length of the minor axis would be 2 times 3, or 6 units. The endpoints of the minor would be, because it's horizontal, the endpoints of the minor would be going vertical. So it would be negative 5, 3, plus or minus 3 units. And then as far as the coordinates of the foci, we're going to be mirroring that of the major axis. Foci would be going horizontally, so we would take our center and add root 7 to the x value. Alright, so for homework, what I would like you to try is on page 436. I would like you to please do numbers 13, 16 to 18, 27, 29, and 33 to 38. All right, good luck with those. Talk soon.